Today we're going to look at Fields of Gold by Sting, and I've decided I wanted to teach that in a basic finger style because that's the way he does it. When I actually got to play it with him, which is another story I'll get to later. But we did a gig together, and this one is in the key of D, and I'm going to run through the chords first for you. And in this, I'm using primarily my thumb, my first and second finger. Okay, that's the way I'm doing this, and it gets a little bit of a, I don't know what you call this, like a pinch-strum pattern. So it's kind of something that it really is used a lot, whether it's Sting or Paul Simon or anybody at fingerstyle. But for my ears, it sounds better to do this, and I do it mostly with the skin of my fingers. So I'll get to all that and how it applies to the verses and stuff. So it starts out with just a little intro, which is a D. And a lot of times I won't always play that high E string, but sometimes I will. Now I'm doing an interior version of the G chord. I'm not doing a big cowboy, you know. It's a little more subtle than that. So what I'm doing is a D over B. And what that is, I'm doing starting with a straight D chord. Then I got the 3 on the B string with my third finger, and then the 2 on the A string with my first finger. So you can do the high G as well. Like that. But understand that I'm using my emphasis on the A string, the D, and the G. Actually, the G and the B. I like sometimes less is more, right? Okay, so that's the intro, back and forth. And that's how it starts out. In the actual chords to the song, it starts out in B minor. So it starts out B minor. And then there's that G with a B. To D. Then you got B minor again. And then there's a quick change here. G to D. To A. And the first one goes to B minor. And repeats. Up to B minor. Sorry. Walking A to D. Okay? And then it goes, the second verse is the same changes. To the G. To D. B minor. There's the quick change, the G to D. And then it goes G to A. And this time it goes back to the D, rather than going to the B minor, okay? And then it repeats again, same form. It's kind of a round and around thing. Beautiful melody we've all gotten used to hearing. Whether you're playing this and singing it, or whether you're playing it instrumentally, which, by the way, it lends itself to, certainly. And I'll show you a little bit how to do that in a minute. But I think the main thing on this song, for me anyway, is getting that feel. You don't want it to be a strum. It's not really a strum drang kind of song. It's really not, so I'm not even going to go there. You can do it with a pick, and then it's more campfire style, you know. But I don't think it really serves the song that well. So I'm just going to jump right to the cool way he did it, and like that. So then eventually you get to a chorus, and when we do "Walking Fields of Gold," and then it repeats "Walking." This is a G A D, right? Walking fields of gold. And then it goes to the bridge, which is G, back to D. G, back to D, somehow broken, back to G, then it goes a fast change, G to A, and it repeats that, and then the solo is nothing more than the verse changes with a, you know, she plays the melody, which is, you know, so classic. So you can't really improve on that melody any. You don't want to hear a dweedly-doo, right? So it's just, again, it's the same. Nice and easy. Back to D. By now we've got this, B minor. Then it repeats it again. Just plays the melody. Quick change. And then there's the G to A. And then at the end, it just walks out, that it vamps out. Walking fields of gold. Repeats. Walking fields of gold. And then it does a quick change from D, G, D, G. As you can tell, and Sting does it this way too. And let me tell you the quick story. I did a gig called Let the Sunshine In with this guy named Narda Michael Walden, who's a drummer, a great drummer. And he's the musical director for Sting's Rainforest show he does every couple years. And so he called me to play, I got to play the part, and it's a melody that happened. Like a little mandolin type part, and I got to play that on my Griffin, which is a high strung, like a Nashville strung thing. It's a mini 12 string. So that's about as far as I'm going to go on that story, except to say it was a thrill. If you have my website, if you ever go to my website, there's a picture of Sting and I and my wife Kelly, and we're doing that song. And the other thrilling thing about playing that song was I got to play with a guy named Norton Buffalo on harmonica, who's no longer with us. And that was really, I thought that was cool to be able to play Fields of Gold with Sting, and he had an orchestra with us. It's amazing. It was just one of those lucky breaks for me. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. But anyway, I'll leave that for you if you want to see about it. There's some stuff on my site, I think, somewhere. So there we are. Again, Fields of Gold. Pretty simple in a way, but I think it's getting that, you know, where I leave that D string, getting that pinch going, and understand that it's not really, it doesn't, you can do it that way, but I wouldn't recommend it. I'd say this is a good chance to do some basic finger style, which I get into at jimmydillon.com if you want to learn how to do that. I'm not going to take that apart right now, but so that's Fields of Gold. And the only other thing I would say, when you're doing that B minor, you can do a sort of a sus version. If you lift the second finger up and then bar, that's something you can throw in. He does that, I think, on Walking Fields. Can play with that. That's an option, because I'm always looking for things to, you know, add to it. I call it connective tissue. The other thing is that at the end, and I've played this, I'm not sure if we did it with Sting, I think we might have, at the very end where it repeats, does that tag at the end? Just G-A-D. For drama, what you can do is go G, A, B minor. Okay, kind of cool, huh? Kind of finalize it, and then go to the final lick, which is just D to G. It's a harmonic there on the 7th. And if you want to go up high for that last one, you can just do 2 inversions up with a D chord. So it looks like that. 11 on the G, 10 on the B, and 10 on the high E. Which is nothing more than... And if you really want to get ambitious, you go all the way up to the octave D. I wouldn't though. I'd leave it here. I wouldn't go any higher than this. So at the end, to do it the way I just showed you, you could go... So that's a couple little alternate moves that you can do in Fields of Gold. But if really, truly, if you can get that rhythm going, you'll find that particular technique of finger picking, and I do it mostly with the skin these days. I like the soft, you know, there's a little bit of nail, but nice up there, isn't it? So if you loop it, you can just solo it to your heart's content on that. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. That's Fields of Gold by the incomparable Sting. He's something, isn't he? Loved him in the Police, and I saw the last gig of the Police at Shea Stadium back in the day. I think it was the early 80s. And I've always been impressed by his great bass player. Really, just got a great feel. So, hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you down the road. Thank you.